Hey, Daddy. Obviously, love the pod and you. I got married in May. Yay. Congrats, right? Little did I know, wrong. I'm 30, so usually I'm not the one going through phones, but one night after a couple of bourbons and my husband falling asleep, I found myself wondering if he had anything to hide and me to worry about. Mind you, if you asked anyone before, he worshipped the ground I walked on. Well, as I dove into his phone, I found he was messaging an ex for a year. Dirty pictures exchanged, but that's not what really hurt. I found he was saying I love you to her, trying to fly her out while on my bachelorette. Oh my God, we live in a different state. And on the wedding day, sending her pictures in his suit. I called him out and he owned up to it, and I stayed since we're newly married and told him if I ever find anything again, I'd be gone. Question: did I go too easy? We've been through a lot. He beat cancer, and when he went into remission is around the time he started messaging his ex. I understand the insecurity and need for reassurance after that, but I went through it too. What do I do? I'm so fucking sorry. Like, first and foremost, I'm so sorry. I can't imagine. It's like two-pronged. It's like, number one, the fact that he's cheating in general and you're finding all of this, and it's the worst fucking feeling when you have that gut feeling and you're like, okay, I'm going to go through the phone and I'm really hoping that I don't find something. But how much worse to know that the cheating was transpiring while you were getting married, all the way down to the day of your wedding, and he's sending a picture in his suit. That is a fucked up person. I don't care if he's like beat cancer or whatever the fuck. Like, that's like, I'm sorry. And like, we'll get to the cancer thing in a minute, but like, that is not an excuse for betraying you on one of the most important days of your relationship. The day that you are committing to each other, the day that you are vowing that you will be there for each other in sickness and health, as you already proved you would do, the day that you talk about your loyalty and your love for each other, and this man is sending this fucking girl a picture in his fucking suit. In what world is this man living on? Like, that is like a seriously fucked in the head person. And I'm sorry, now let me backtrack because I recognize this is your husband. And I said this earlier, everyone is going to be different when it comes to cheating. But what I do think, even if you're going to stay, is there needs to be some serious conversations. Like, you can't just say, I'll never do it again and never do it again. Like, this is like we need to almost go through a 10-step fucking program to ensure that this is never going to happen again, and that you actually show that you're remorseful, and how did this happen, and why did this happen, and how are we going to move forward, and how are we going to rebuild trust. Like, when someone cheats, I feel like there is a lot of difficulty around the person that cheated. Feels like if we're going to stay in this relationship, you kind of have to let it go, because I can't keep living in this, like, I'm under a microscope every 5 seconds and you never trust me. I get that kind of, but it is also on them to make sure that you feel 100% confident in this relationship, or you at least get to that at some capacity. And so it's on them to put in so much fucking work to build back that trust. And I feel like a lot of times with cheating in relationships, once they say, I'm sorry, and there's the blowout fight, and there's the crying, and there's the screaming, then it kind of is just like over, and there's like some follow-up conversations, or there's not follow-up conversations, there's just breakout fights when it's like, well, you didn't text me and I was getting worried, and obviously you've cheated on me, so I was getting fucking paranoid that you were doing it again. And he's like, I was just out with the boys, I wasn't fucking cheating, you're so fucking crazy, I told you I'm never gonna do that again. Like, there's this animosity that starts to build, and I don't want that for you. So, number one, I think you did go too easy. Again, you only shared a brief recap of how you handled it, but I just think that there's something wrong with this person, which leads me to think that he may be I'm not a fucking therapist, so I don't want to diagnose here, but my brain goes to, and again, please, don't take my word for this, but something with him is mentally, mental health going on maybe, and maybe it is because of the cancer that he was going through, but to be able to check out and to dissociate and because a lot of times I feel and again, I'm saying this and this, I could be wrong, but I choose to believe that a lot of times when people cheat, they're not these like awful bad people. Like this isn't, and again, there are those type of men or women that are like so narcissistic and sociopathic that it's like they're getting off on going behind their partner's back and making these decisions. But I do feel like that's like a 2 out of 10 scenario, right? A lot of times when people cheat, it is this like deep-seated insecurity or need for validation, or they have sexual needs, or there's a disconnect in the relationship, whatever it is. They're doing this and they're not thinking about their partner and the ramifications it's going to have and the emotional damage it's going to do to their partner. They're being selfish in a moment and they're acting on it, and they're not thinking past that. If anything, they're not thinking. So my problem though with this decision is the layer of it being on your wedding day and leading up to your wedding. That is a very, very potentially like emotionally cut off person to be in wedding planning, to be talking about forever with someone, to be walking down the aisle, to be saying I do to someone, and all while sending pictures of their fucking suit on the day to their mistress. What the fuck? So let's make it less about his infidelity and more about like what is going on with your husband that he is so capable of something so hurtful and evil. And we can choose to believe he's not the 2 out of 10, right? That's like an evil person. So if I were you, I would say you need to get into couples therapy if you're going to stay. He needs to get into individual therapy because, again, who knows? Maybe the cancer, like he has lost all capacity to process emotions because he kind of shut himself off during chemo and was just like, I don't know. I can't speak for him. I'm just trying to think of like maybe something in that process made him really disconnect from his feelings, and therefore his decisions of this person were his like ability to feel something that he wasn't getting from you in a stable relationship. I don't fucking know, but you need to find that out in order to move forward. Hi Daddy Gang, thank you so much for watching this video. Keep in mind that was just a little clip from the episode. If you want to watch the entire full video episode, it is linked below. It's the first thing in the description. Go watch it. It's a great episode. Love you all. I will see you next Wednesday.